Let's see what they got.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be banning away the chip as well as the Ruby. And like us, he said, the jungle is super important. One hero that we would like to talk about so is the Fanny. We know both Hades as well as Erupt play a 6-6 Fanny. And it's going to be taken out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they want to gamble it, right? I mean, sure, you got the first pick, but is it really first pickable? It seems like RSG Philippines says no. For this game, let's just ban it out. And NIP Flash, they adjust as well. Let's ban another assassin that they will take away that link.
Yeah, that's really smart coming about RSG Philippines. Like you mentioned, you don't really want to pick the Fanny as a first pick. It's more of a second pick material kind of hero. And so knowing that NIP Flash is going to be the second pick, they decided to ban out. Another hero that has been, making its waves coming back in day one as well is actually the Zox. We saw it being played in the goal lane, in the mid lane. I prefer it, personally, I prefer it being played in the mid lane, right? You don't really have to rotate that much out of the goal lane, which is all the way on the other side of the map. You bring more, impact into the team, and the fact that Zaz wants to fight in an area, it's really, really impactful when he's playing down the middle.
In fact, for me, I feel happy that Zaz is banned now because these two teams, they love the Zaz, right? It felt like they always defaulted to it yesterday, but now it's been taken out. Means alternatives have to be kind of found by these two teams. Harry banned out as well. It was a pick that NIP Flash kind of got punished because they didn't take it out against Homeboys, which means Jushin gets let through and RSG Philippines takes first pick.
Jushin.
Again, for Stream C, we haven't really seen the Zushin, so it's going to be a debut pick for Stream C here. Let's see though, RSG Philippines, how will they play the Zushin out?
Yeah, there's still lots of options for NIP Flash now. We talked about the Ruby. Both teams play Ruby a lot, so I think for NIP Flash, it's kind of a no-brainer. They have defaulted time and time again to the Terizlas while we saw Adamir play a couple of Terizlas throughout the series. There's also Outlet in the picture, so plenty of options available for NIP Flash. Now the question is, now that Zaz is out of the picture, will we see them pick up the Moskov? Because Owl actually played the Moskov against Homeboys, which they nearly won, but day one was rough, definitely rough.
Yeah, it could be an option that they go towards, right? The Roger was also left open, if I'm not mistaken, so that could be what NIP Flash pivots towards. But yeah, they're gonna get the Roger and the Hayabusa, so very, very honest draft. Hayabusa jungle, Roger go for Owl. And I think I kind of predicted this direction because Ruby was banned out, right? NIP Flash loved the Ruby Outlet flex, but now they have been stripped of that option. I think they just make sure that their cores get the important heroes, and then they figure out the support system behind it.
And what I really like about the Hayabusa and Roger is also direct, right? They really want to be okay and aggressive in the early game. You want to steal jungles. You want to find more pickoffs after the first turtle. So let's see here, RSG Philippines, to complete their first phase, what two heroes should be picked up?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of heroes that are still available, like we mentioned. I think they need a little bit of a lockdown, especially with Hayabusa. The Moskov is kind of stolen away from RSGPH, so there's lesser, options now on the side. And they also denied the Terizla away from MIP Flash. There's sort of a control game coming up for RSGPH. You have the penalty zone coming up from the Terizla. You have the Jushin to kind of back it up, and that frees up lots and lots of options for RSGPH, especially in huge team fights.
And of course, NIP Flash, they're gonna pick JPL, but I mean Cho. they're gonna pick Cho.
I like how synonymous the two names are now.
Cho for JPL, very synonymous, like you say, one of his signatures as well. Very comfortable on this pick. We've seen JPL even doing MSC. You give him Cho, you give him Ruby, big playmakers. Sometimes he just makes that finger snap decision to go for a play. And sometimes it's a coin flip, but most of the times it's very decisive. Something that you need from your roamer.
Yeah, it's it's a very stark difference in the style that these two teams want to play from the first phase of the draft, right? On one hand, RSG Philippines very controlling, a lot of crowd control skills on both sides on the heroes that they've picked up. On the other side, NIP Flash, they want to go for pace. It's all about assassins, right? You got Cho, you can single someone out with the ultimate. You have Roger that wants to go in and out, and you also have a Hayabusa. So two very distinct play styles.
Yeah, I agree. It's very invasive, right? If you're talking about Cho, very high. Hayabusa expects them to be in the jungles of RSG Philippines from that early game. If not, it's going to backfire from NIP Flash, because then they would be able to extract that maximum potential from this draft from that early game.
I think one of the biggest advantages you have from the Jushin is also kind of the Lantern Flare, right? The telekinetic ability, it's easy to stack up the stacks and then kind of lift you around. For NIP Flash, they have heroes that are not that worried, right? You have iframes, Roger, you have mobility with the shadows, and Shunpo with CC immunity. Something that allow NIP Flash to kind of maneuver around the Jushin.
Yeah, I think for RSG Philippines now, it's about taking out the majors, right? Majors that can kind of jam those team fights. Valentina being one of them. You know, she used the IMU to steal a penalty zone. Another hero that we saw NIP Flash actually play was actually the Aurora. And Aurora plays very well into these huge team fights. It kind of jams the momentum that RSG Philippines are looking to set up. I think for NIP Flash, I was about to mention Julian, but they banned it out first. Really smart ban coming out for NIP Flash, especially with RSG Philippines haven't reviewed the jungler. And the last ban coming from RSG Philippines is actually going to be the Idif. Not what kind of expected there, to be really honest, because I think Idif isn't really something that NIP Flash would like to play in this lineup, especially for someone like they already have the Cho. Maybe they were thinking that, okay, maybe they'll throw the Idif into the EXP lane. Yeah. And, you know, Idif does well into the Turisla as well. It's kind of like a drawn lane per se, and I think for the Turisla, you want to control the fight.
There could be a potential, export for the side of export or Arlet for NIP Flash. We talk about alternatives, right? You take away what Adamir has been showing a lot yesterday. You take away the Zaz. So NIP Flash, I think they're put in a spot where they have to dig deeper and kind of change up how they formulate the draft sequence. First pick on the second phase is going to be the Arlet. We talk about that. This is still, this is 100% going to be the Adamir Arlet, which means that Cortese gets to sit until the last one.
So now the question backs, right? Will RSG Philippines take up the Krufra? Gani mentioned about the Krufra, and we have been seeing Krufras starting to make a comeback because of the assassin meta, because of the movements that these assassins come out. And here we go. The Krufra actually does get picked up, and to add on to that, they also pick up the Lancelot.
Oh, this is scary. Yeah, we talked about Lancelot and Arad. Somehow, just they have this bond, right? And it seems like we will see that bond again for our first game. But he needs to be careful. A lot of crowd control is coming from that Cho, and now they've added another crowd control element from that Aurora.
Dude, gentlemen, we've been on fire so far. We got most of the drafts correct. We got the impressions right. I need last words from you guys.
Yeah, I love both sides of the draft. I think they have the distinct playstyle they're looking for. RG Philippines obviously looking for that huge team fights and kind of throwing that Krufra into the middle to stop NIP's Flash draft, where it's very flashy, a lot of movements, looking to pick someone off. I think this is where we'll see whether both teams are confident of themselves.
You know what? Late game, I gotta give my money, put my money towards RSG Philippines, right? They have the Moscow, they have this hero that can backdoor you, they can join team fights from wherever. So yeah, take a look for that Moscow.
So it seems like both of you guys love that RSG Philippines draft. We'll see if NIP Flash can prove everyone else wrong. So I'm going to hand the mic to you both areas. Gani, show us what you got.
Yeah, enough said about the draft. I think this is completely fantastic. Two very distinct playstyles, two teams that are desperate to prove themselves in day 2, and we're kicking it off in Stream C.
Well, let's see, ladies and gentlemen, for our opening game of Stream C. Let's say RSG Philippines taking on NIP Flash. Who you got? Spam the comments.
High risk, high reward kind of draft coming from NIP Flash, obviously looking for those pickoffs. And you know, if it doesn't go their way, it can become very risky. But if they do manage to snowball, then this is where we'll see the impact of the draft. A bit of a harassment down the mid lane, I think that's fine. You know, obviously choosing is not going to be able to clear the lane as quickly as the Aurora in the early game, but she doesn't have to be worried about it, because at the end of the day, you're looking for team fights.
And you can see here again, as we expect from the draft, they're going a little bit crazy in the early game already, trying to fight for that lethal wonder, but NIP Flash got a better of RSG Philippines for now.
Yeah, no surprises there. It's the Hayabusa. We talked about this, right? The bout between Arad as well as Hades. Both players definitely put a performance in day 1. But coming into this, I think this is really important for RSG Philippines, because in the early game, they cannot afford to let NIP Flash take too much of aggression. But at the same time, they can afford to sit back. As long as they don't lose too much resource, when those huge team fights come around, the Turtles and the Lords, this is where we'll see the draft shine for RSG Philippines.
And a little bit spell check, right? Because of that choke pick here, 2 Purifies was forced. Oh, like catching JPL in the mid side there, but no damage really, right, from both teams. They're both just poking around pre-turtle. And let's see here, which team has gone for that priority for that neutral objective.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned about Purify. You are dealing with an Arlot, there is the Cho. So both the Marksman and the Mage, which the Arlot is looking to catch out, will go for it. Well, JPL is going to take a little bit of harassment.
Oh, it's 2 for 1. Oh, pulled back though. And JPL in trouble, still holding on towards that flicker, but Aqua dove in and gets the first blood. RSG Philippines strike first in this Land of Dawn.
Yeah, this is fantastic for RSG Philippines. This is what they want at the start. But Hades?
Oh, with the Shadow Kill, he is able to trade Aqua out, and Light now in trouble. Still holding on though. But yeah, it's a 1 for 1. And take a look at Arad. He's not standing idly by. He is on that turtle and gets the first neutral objective of the game.
Yeah, this is the spike that Lancelot brings to the table, right? That taunt rolls into the retribution. It's kind of secured there. So RSG Philippines, yes, they've given away the kills, but I think at the end of the day, like we said, they're looking to scale into the late game. You talked about the Moskov. He's not having, a really tough lane against Owl, especially against the Roger. And I think that's very concerning for NIP Flash. I think they should look to gank the Moskov. You see JPL kind of hovering around the jungle there. I think they should make a play in the goal lane soon.
I agree. They need to shut this Moskov down early. 3 items is all he needs to really be active right around the map and just cause damage. Let's see, NIP Flash here already hovering around as well. But RSG Philippines here themselves are just clumping in the bottom side of the map.
Like goes in.
Oh, let's see. He catches one. JPL will take a lot of damage, but will survive. And RSG Philippines, they reset the button. But take a look at the bottom side. All and Kusei here trading punches, but not to where, nothing comes out of it.
Yeah, a little bit of good timing cover out, just back up the right time. Kufa is just hanging around the corner. And this is where RSG Philippines are so methodical in the way they play. They know the NIP Flash could possibly target Kusei on this Moskov. And it's a very fine balance that Light has to be here. He has to be in the team fights when those time comes. At the same time, he has to make sure that Moskov gets the space in order to farm off the late game. And on the side, NIP Flash, a little bit of a bout at the top. I think this Arlot should be fine. Yeah, this lane is just... It's just boring. I'm just going to put it out there, right? It's a Terizla against Arlot. Neither side is really going to commit to a full one-on-one. And, well, can't say the same for Hades and Irad.
Oh, it's an assassin versus assassin there. Arad and Hades just saying hello to each other. 10 seconds towards the next turtle, though. You can see both teams already hovering around that turtle pit, trying to claim control and space.
Yeah, both Adamir and Nebo also joining up with the rest of the team. They won this advantage. While on the other side, Kusei actually went to the top lane, so you can definitely see the priority to get him from.
Oh, Flicker already final slash as well. Connects, but seems like the damage will not come through just yet. JPL soaking damage, taking the crowd control, will be taken down. And now they're going in. Owl with the wall form, but Hades finds a kill. Owl still going crazy, gets crowd control, but is okay and finds a kill. Light goes down. Rad say good night as Owl secures the double.
A huge commitment for RSGPH there. They were the ones that took the fight. But remember, we mentioned about the Aurora. That's what Aurora wants. And she's just inviting the entire team to come on in. It's like, hey, come on in, the water's fine, right? And she just pops the ulti. And that's it. So I think that's where NIP Flash was really well played. Yes, JPL sacrificed for the life of it, but look at the other side. They took down Irad. They nearly took down Kusei as well. I think this is not Kusei, but Light as well. So this is a fantastic start for NIP Flash, and this is starting to look slightly more dangerous because this is where the Roger starts to scale, and you definitely don't want a Roger running rampant.
Yeah, you don't want to go up against a Roger that is snowballing, right? And you can see her turret taken down. But one problem is that they haven't really taken care of is that Kusei still 0 deaths to his name. So technically, this Moskov is A-okay. As long as he's farming, as long as he's carrying minions, yeah. RSG Philippines, they're technically fine.
Yeah, a really reliable character. We saw Kusei play the Harif in yesterday's game. We know he can hit and he can carry once that spike comes in. On the other side, NIP Flash, I think they're doing a good job of making the most in the early stages of the game. But RSG Philippines, on the other hand, they're taking the fight to NIP Flash. And NIP Flash just welcoming them, especially with the Aurora and the Cho pick.
And yeah, I mean, before the last turtle here, it seems like NPFL Flash, they want to focus down on Kusei as expected, but now, oh, Hades is there. Shadow Kill connects. It seems like the damage will not be enough. Owl will be caught, and Kusei will almost grab that kill now. RSG, they want to re-engage. Curtis is there, but the penalty zone out towards 3 is huge. Owl, 1 HP, survives, and JPL is in there trying to provide cover, but NIP Flash and RSG Philippines says, yeah, let's not do business right here, right now.
Oh, that was a close call for NIP Flash, I gotta admit. RSG Philippines did really well to recover from that fight. You know, it looked like Kusei and Ira was in a bit of trouble, but good re-engagement from Light to kind of just jam the fight in the middle. And NIP Flash also, you know, managed to avoid punishment for their dive.
Almost there. That was a risk, but you know what? It's okay. Let's see the last turtle though. NIP Flash already showing control, showing dominance, and it seems like RSG Philippines says, you know what? Let's concede. Let's pick our battles.
Yeah, that's worth net worth-wise. NIP Flash obviously having a slight lead, not slight, but 3.4k goal lead. On the other side, you know, RSG Philippines, I must assume that most of that farm that we have seen for them so far has been on Crusade, has been on this Moskov. It's all about getting the items in. We're already starting to see his second item being built up. He's building that golden staff. So once we see that golden staff coming, I'm pretty sure they'll start calling him into the fight.
More active, looking more for more fights as well, taking less risk. And yeah, Kusei has been just farming, but you can see here him positioning already, perhaps ready for war, right in the mid, already providing cover as well. And NIP Flash, sure, they're ahead of 3,000. Take a look at the items as well. Already 2 items, Endless Battle and Thunder Belt for that Roger.
Yeah, looks like the Roger's going a little bit more sustained, right? The Thunder Belt build is going to be super important for him to stay alive in the later stages of the game, and this item just allows him to scale. And the fact that he has the Endless Battle as well as the Sky Piercer also means that he's still effective in team fights. If any one of the members on South RSG Philippines are low, he can just go in for the finishing move. And it's not like all the pressure on this Roger to carry, because they also have a higher booster. So I'm pretty sure Hades will be able to lift some pressure off on the side of Owl.
More true damage with that Thunder Belt as well as Endless Battle as well. Meaning, yeah, RSG Philippines, if you build defensive items, you know what? Doesn't care. He has that true damage. But you can see here, NIP Flash quite comfortable with the lead as well, with the space that they're taking already being quite invasive in the jungle. Take a look at JPL, conceal play. JPL, Shunpo out of that light, caught stun, but the damage will not come through just yet. NIP Flash playing this very, very patiently as well. I like it.
Yeah, they don't really have to risk it, right? Because at the end of the day, RSG Philippines, they haven't hit the spike. They can't afford to take, you know, these silly team fights. And NIP Flash is more than happy to cover those grounds. Now, obviously, coming up next is the first lot of the game. And NIP Flash, I think they are in a slight lead just because of the level difference that most of the members on the side of the Singapore team has over RSG Philippines. And on top of it, look at Hades. He's already hitting that level 14, working towards the 15 mark. Irad, just 1 level below.
And yeah, Owl here now just playing it very, very carefully as well. Here doesn't really want to go on unnecessary fights. But yeah, I agree. I mean, Lord should go to the hands of NIP Flash. RSG Philippines knows that this is the first load. It's not really that strong. If we can see this Lord, it's a-okay. Now, though, RSG Light charging will not commit on towards the jump. But Adamir, he wants to fight. Final Slash caught as well. Oh, Hades will take the Lord comfortably. JPL doesn't really find the window that he wants, but Shadow Kill will connect on towards 3 members of RSG. No one dies, though, just yet. And that will be NIP Flash just taking the Lord and, again, just showing control.
Yeah, we talked about the experience of Adamir, and you saw the moment that Hades went for the Lord, his job as an Outlaw is just zone out the backline of RSG Philippines, make sure that the higher booster can secure the Lord while they don't take any losses. And I think that was a really clean engagement from NIP Flash. Yeah, they expended a couple of huge ultimates, but at the end of the day, they managed to secure the Lord, and that was what they came for.
Yeah, I like that, right? He wants his zone, he wants a screen, doesn't really want Light to get into one of the backliners, especially on Kufra. That is going to be the main target. But let's see, it's Sports Lord marching top lane. Mid should be the priority for NIP Flash, considering the first tier top and bot has been taken care of. JPL flickers out of the way. It's okay. Oh, almost. Moskov will not commit on towards that ult. But yeah, inner turret top lane, NIP Flash you know what? We'll take it.
Yeah, and Owl on the bot lane as well just managed to take the tier 2. So NIP Flash is managing those waves perfectly. They might even be able to secure this tier 1 turret, and I think RSG Philippines will be more than happy to give it up. But hey, Irad going in, trying to be flashy with the Lancelot.
It's chill. It's chill. He has the resources to get out. Yeah, sure. Half HP. He needs to back off. And NP Flash, will they put it another gear? Line charging. Will he connect though? It's just Adamir and JPL showing on the map. So I don't think it's wise here. NP Flash, 5,000 gold here in first 12 minutes. That's showing that, yeah, they're quite snowballing, but they need to be careful of that Moskov. I think he's online already.
Yeah, at the end of the day, RSG Philippines, the only real damage dealer that they have in terms of DPS is Kusei. And if Kusei is not in the fight, I think they will trouble taking down JPL. And this is why we see Light not willing to commit into those hasty fights, because it could backfire on them, right? If you spend too much ultimates just trying to take out one Cho, and then the Hayabusa and Roger folds up, they have nothing left for NIP Flash. So I think RSG Philippines, like you said, very calculated, very meticulous in the execution, and obviously not the position you want to be in because you're sitting on the back. But NIP Flash, on the other hand, doing a fantastic job at controlling this tempo. But one important thing though, can they close this game out? Because we saw in yesterday's game, when they are on the front foot, they struggle towards the late game because they just can't seem to close.
Oh, Hades caught in top lane, and he will fall. 2 for 1 now. It seems like RSG, they will fight. Kurt TZ flickers out of the wave. Owl, in the middle of it all, will try to find Nibor, but life will be shut down by Arad. Now Adamir in the front side will not be able to do anything. That's bang, bang, bang. 3 members from NIP Flash taking out Arad. The Eradicator wants JPL. JPL gets out, but the mid-tier 1 will not survive.
That was a show coming from Irad there. Yes, it didn't make JPL, but this is what we talked about RSG Philippines. That team fight, total control. They only lost Nibor in the middle of it all, but they got Adamir. Kusei managed to get a 1v1 win against Hades, and then Owl goes down as well. And this is what we talked about. NIP Flash just struggling close out. I think it was really risky, and I think they did not expect that RSG Philippines would take the fight to them at that part of the map.
Yeah, they did not expect to set up top lane as well, right? Hades, he doesn't even want to face check. He thought it was cleared, but no, there was 2 members, Light and Kusei was there catching, or he caught Hayabusa, and yeah, that was the domino effect. NIP Flash now losing all advantage. Let's see though, with the Lord, what will they take? Structures? It seems like they will just save their inhibitors.
Yeah, I think it's more important for RSG Philippines here to just take back control of the map. Like you said, that team fight was huge, and now NIP Flash having to play from behind in their base. This is not what you want for NIP Flash, because you're an Assassin's lineup, right? You want to be in control, you want to be fast-paced, and the fact that everyone is now curved up in the jungle means it's super scary to walk out. Every single time a bush is there, there could be a Kufra, there could be a Moskov, and on top of it all, you have a Jusing, which can drag someone out of the lantern.
Or both, or like all members of RSG Philippines. And this is what we mentioned, right, in the early game, that Kusei, untouched. And you can see here, just by a kill and 2 assists, his impact on that Moskov is just so tremendous. And NP Flash, they are starting to crumble. Technically, right now, RSG, they have full control on the jungles of NIP Flash.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight on Adamir. And speaking of Adamir, he gets dragged out.
Oh, Nibor with the penalty zone on towards Suba. JPL here in the front side, trying to soak in damage. To the back side though, Arad trying to wreak havoc, trying to find Kurt TZ. Light trying to provide cover on towards Adamir, who should fall. But no, Arad will fall first. It's Owl in the backside on that wolf form, claiming the double. JPL will be the trade as Nibor in the no man's land will fall as well. NIP Flash with the defense.
Fantastic ultimate coming out from Aurora. Katizi just freezing 3 members of RSG Philippines underneath the turret. That is one of the worst plays that you want to be in, fighting into Aurora. And I think NIP Flash, they capitalized on this mistake. RSG Philippines, they should have just left, right? They managed to get the enhanced slot, push down all the other turrets. They could have just waited for the next slot to try to get one of those 3. But NIP Flash, they saw the moment, right? RSG Philippines, they thought they caught up Adamir. penalty zone goes in, but it's underneath the turret of NIP Flash, and immediately Courtesy pops that out, and they punish RSG hard. And I think that was a warning call. It's like, hey, if you still want to take the fight to us, we have the tools to fight back.
Yeah, that was I like it, right? That was like a strike one as well from RSG. Hey, if you get complacent, if you are underestimating team fights, NIP Flash will be there to punish. And now it's a reset. Both teams here, take a look at the economy here. Sure, 16 minutes, but it's all equal ground. Turret-wise, sure, RSG Philippines ahead by 1, and their mid turret is very weak. But you know what? With the Lord, this is going to be the tiebreaker in a sense.
JP out here now. Scouting members of RSG, that's what he has to do at the show. Be annoying, right? Be a thorn in RSG Philippines' neck. And RSG now looking poised to take the second lot. I think they have the lead here, especially with the team fight. Anime actually misses the final slash.
Oh, light with the play. Courtesy in trouble. Now, with the crowd control, though, he survives. Now, Kusei is going to fall first. It's a 2-4-0. Irad looking for Hades and Courtesy in the backside. Lancelot doing some assassinations. Immortality pops as well. Nibor couldn't do anything to find and cover for his teammates, but Nibor in a 5-man army or a 4-man army will fall as well. And NIP Flash, what a recovery.
Once again, it's the Aurora. RSG Philippines was so hungry to actually take the Aurora out, but because of a passive, he could re-engage an NIP Flash. We talked about this, the punishment in the draft, and Aqua desperate to try to defend this base. They're going for the game, NIP Flash!
Oh no, full minions. Yeah, Aqua is down. And ladies and gentlemen, NIP Flash will take game 1 in this best of 3.
What a game 1. We talked about it. 2 very distinct styles, and they stuck their guns to it. RSG Philippines constantly looking for those team fights, but two huge mistakes. One, trying to dive underneath the target.